Hey everybody, and a humble for Spirit of Metal, and we're here in West Hollywood, California at the Whiskey of Go-Go with Matt from King Parrot. How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm good, very good, great to be here.
Okay, so you guys are from Australia, you just got here, first time in North America?
Yes.
Are you guys nervous at all?
Well, we had our first show last night in Fresno, so that was cool. It was a nice sort of introduction to the US, and yeah, but I guess, you know, playing at the Whiskey of Go-Go, it's like, you know, I think we're, yeah, of course we're a little bit nervous, but you know, we've got a lot of gigs under our belt, you know, we've played a lot over the last couple of years in Australia, so I think, you know, we're just really grateful that, you know, being such an early stage in the band that we're getting an opportunity to come and do this, you know, it's awesome. So, yeah, you know, a lot of people have showed a bit of faith in us, and yeah, we're just extremely grateful, and yeah, it's great to be here with the guys from Cattle Decapitation, so yeah. Okay,
yeah, like you just mentioned, you guys actually only have like, what, 4 years of band? You grouped in 2010?
Yeah, well, we sort of started around playing in 2009, and then we took a break for a year, and we just wasn't the right time for everyone. And then I think like 2011 is when we first really started. We released an EP in Australia, and that's when we first started like touring and getting everything sort of happening on a more sort of workable level. So yeah, and then, you know, 2012 we hit it pretty hard, and last year we hit it pretty hard, and you know, things are starting to open up for us internationally, which is great. So yeah, we're just gonna keep going for it, you know.
And okay, so you guys have a lot of happening. You have a full-length album already, an EP.
Yep.
You're touring here, you tour Australia, and like you said, in a short amount of time. Did you guys have any bands before that? Did you have experience that actually helped you, you know, get prepared for this, what's happening now?
Oh yeah, I think so. Like we're all old war horses from the Australian metal scene. I mean, not me so much. I'm the youngest in the band, so, but the other guys have all definitely been around the traps and played in lots of other Australian metal bands, and toured overseas with those bands, and done all that sort of stuff. But yeah, I think you know, we've all the members of King Parrot have identified each other as dudes that aren't really good at anything else apart from playing music and screaming at people and carrying on. So yeah, this is what we're going to do. So, you know, we're just yeah, we found each other in this band, and yeah, we're just pretty much going hell for leather. So
okay. Okay, but you're mentioning the Australian bands, the Australian scene. Where do you guys position in the Australian scene as a band? Is it more underground? Where are you guys there?
Well, it's kind of hard to say, you know. I think, yeah, I think we're an underground sort of band, but I mean, we have had a little bit of exposure to sort of like broader audiences, and you know, through the national magazines and stuff like that. Nice. We were on the cover of a magazine that was like in newsagents and stuff, so that was pretty cool. And just before we left, we played at the Soundwave Festival in Australia.
Awesome.
So that was pretty cool. That was a nice thing to do before we came over here, you know. We got to play in front of a lot of people there, and it was a good experience for us. So yeah, I guess we are deeply rooted in the underground, and that's where our influences come from and all that sort of stuff. But I guess we've been fortunate enough to have a bit of exposure to, you know, a wider general sort of audience. So yeah.
Okay, so you guys play extreme music. Is there any way you can define that a little bit better? What do you guys sound like?
Well, I guess I think what we try and do is like, we want to sound like an Australian band. You know, I mean, I find in Australia there's a lot of Australian bands that sound like American bands.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And we want to sound like a distinctly Australian band, and take that approach to the band as well. And I think that's kind of what's working for us at the moment. But you know, we're influenced by everything, you know, like lots of Australian music, you know, lots of extreme Australian music that's happened through the 90s, and even from the 80s and 90s, and but you know, I mean, we're all music fans as well, so we love everything. So you know, like punk rock, we love thrash, we love grind, we love stuff like Cattle Decapitation, you know. We've played with all sorts of bands, you know, so you know, we just, you know, we've done tours with rock bands in Australia as well. So it's like, you know, we just take a little bit from everywhere and mash it all together and just make it our own thing, I guess. So, yeah.
Okay. Oh, I have to ask that. Okay, so my Australian friends keep telling me, oh, you're going to experience something unique on their live performance. They're like, be careful, you cannot be in the back, you cannot be in front of the stage. Be careful, you have to, if any of them get out of the stage, run away, run for your life. So what happens in your concerts?
Well, look, I'm not going to give too much, I'm not going to give much away. I mean, you're going to see it tonight.
Yeah?
Yeah,
Oh,
you're
well.
on the guest list, so
Okay.
yeah, come on in and just check it out. I don't know, I guess we just wanted to, I guess, take the show to the audience a little bit more. I guess, when we sort of was first doing the band, I think the Melbourne scene, with the city where we're from, there's like a lot of people sort of just standing around like watching the show. It's like, you know, like get involved. So, and so I think initially when we started the band, I was like, I got myself a wireless microphone and I'd jump into the crowd and start pushing people around a little bit and I'd knock their beer out of their hand and all that sort of stuff. And that got me into a few hairy situations. So I haven't been doing that so much lately. But, you know, we just want people to have a good time and get involved and have as much fun as what we're having. So, you know, some people take it the wrong way and some people like it. So whatever. I think one thing about King Parrot is probably you're either going to like us or you're going to hate us. And that's cool with me. That's what I mean, I don't want to be one of those fence-sitting bands, you know, oh yeah, they're not too bad. It's like, you either really like us or you hate us, so whatever.
So what about here? Are you going to take the same approach here in the US? You're planning to just do your concert the way you do in Australia?
Yeah, we did that last night, so I guess we're going to do it again tonight. So, yeah, I don't think we changed anything for anyone, you know. It's just, this is what we are, this is what we do, and it's just extreme, aggressive, but it's also kind of light-hearted as well at times and funny. So, yeah, it's just our own little thing that we've sort of worked on over the last year or two, and it just happens the way it happens. Okay. Yeah.
And, okay, I have to ask this.
Okay.
Why King Parrot?
Okay. Yeah, I mean, it's just one of those things. I mean, we could have the most common metal name or just, you know, for me, King Parrot, I mean, it's an Australian bird, obviously, so whatever, it's got nothing to do with that. A parrot is, in Australian slang terminology, a parrot is the most annoying person, like, you know.
Really?
Yeah. So a parrot is a really, you know, you're a parrot, mate, you know, like, so we are the most annoying people ever. That's it.
I don't think your friends would agree with you, would they?
Maybe, yeah, I don't know. You let me know later. Yeah.
Okay, so just as the fans can know you a bit more personally, what about you? Favorite drink?
Me? Water.
Water? You don't drink alcohol.
No.
You mentioned that earlier.
Yeah.
Water.
I have a Red Bull every now and again, but, you know, maybe like before the show I might have like a Red Bull. That's me partying. But yeah, just water's fine. That's what I always drink. So yeah, and I like a soy latte.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah.
Are you vegan?
Vegetarian. I try to be vegan. But,
See, vegetarians.
Yeah. It's kind of hard to do the vegan thing on the road, when no one else gives a shit.
Not in California. California, super easy to be a vegan.
It is? Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe I should move here then.
Yeah, maybe you should. Okay, most influential albums and artists.
I think for me, like as a youngster, like when my dad first showed me AC/DC, Dirty Deeds, Done Dirt Cheap. That was a pivotal moment for me. He also bought me Black Sabbath Greatest Hits on cassette, and that was the first time I'd ever heard anything like that, and I was just like, whoa, this is pretty cool. And then as I got a little bit older, I guess, you know, like just the same as everyone else, you know, Metallica, and the first time I'd actually heard like death metal and stuff like that, a friend of mine had a cassette tape and it had Slayer Seasons in the Abyss on one side and it had Sepultura Rise on the other side, and I got the I had my tape player, had the double thing, so I put my blank tape in there and I taped his blank tape onto it, and it was a horrible sound quality, but that was my first sort of introduction to that sort of stuff when I was probably like 11 or 12, and then it was just like so those albums were all pretty pivotal for me and influential. So
In sports, you're into
sports. Well, down in Melbourne, the game that we have in Melbourne is Australian rules football. I don't know. You ever seen it?
Right.
It's not rugby.
It's not rugby.
It's not rugby. It's Australian rules football, in our city. You haven't?
No.
Oh, we got to check this out later. Yeah. I'm gonna get my computer out and show you some Australian rules football. And it's no pads, just shorts and a jumper and full contact, and everyone just goes crazy, smashes the shit out of each other, and we kick, and we have a thing called a handball where we pass the ball over like this, and there's full tackling, and it's the most awesome game. It's if you watch it and you don't know what's happening, you're kind of like, what the hell's going on? But once you understand the rules and all that sort of stuff, it's fine. It's a really cool game. So that's what I like, and I like a bit of basketball. I went and saw the Lakers play the other night, which was really cool. So none of the other guys from our band had been to an NBA game before. I'd been a couple of times, but it's pretty cool.
Okay, well, going back to the band now, you're going to do this tour. It's kind of a long tour, it's like a month and a half almost, and then I know you guys have a concert, like a gig in Indonesia in a festival.
Yeah.
Anything else? What are you guys going to be up to until the end of the year?
Well, we're just sort of negotiating all that sort of stuff at the moment. We're just waiting on a few things, but last year our goal was to sort of try and tour as much as we could in Australia, hit as many places as we could, tour with as many bands as we could, and I think we achieved that. I think we played, something like 120 gigs or something like that, 120 or 130 shows just in Australia in like an 18-month period, which is kind of ridiculous. We just want to play overseas, and we just want to travel overseas and do the US as much as we can, try and do Europe as well, and Asia's like right there for us. It's probably the closest thing for us to do. So we're doing that Hammer Sonic Festival with Creator and Morbid Angel and Belphegor, and it's just like, okay, that sounds cool, we'll do that. So we played in Indonesia before, so it's going to be awesome. It's great over there. The people are awesome in Indonesia.
Okay. And kind of last question, you have any messages for the Spirit of Metal viewers?
Keep supporting metals, keep supporting underground metal, and thank you guys for coming and interviewing us, because we really appreciate your support. It's awesome. So.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, it's a pleasure, absolute pleasure. Cool.